What did the popular kid at your school do to go from cool to an absolute outcast? Got hit by a train. Everyone cared about him until he got out of the hospital and wasn't the same mentally from head trauma. All the other popular kids mock him and have him blocked on social media to this day. That's messed up. I remember in middle school the popular kid asked out the most unpopular girl and then embarrassed her in front of everybody by breaking up with her and laughing in her face about how she could think it was real. It was really sad, and I remember her being really into high school TV shows, and I think she really wanted to be popular. Like she hoped life would be like a Disney show or something. I don't know what happened to him, but I remember everyone kind of being like, dude. And he moved a bit later. In high school the popular kids weren't necessarily bullies. They weren't super welcoming into their circle to invite everyone to parties and stuff, but they weren't total bullies, at least that I know of. They were just good at sports and attractive pretty much. Semi-popular, kinda preppy kid. Tried to kill his parents by pouring vodka around their bed at night and setting it on fire because they took his CDs away. Killed an infant in a car accident. Completely shut down during senior year. Wouldn't talk to anybody anymore. I had a cousin who died as a very small child because she walked out from behind two parked cars into the street out front of a church. A young man was driving to church and accidentally killed her. He never drove again. Ruined his whole life. Poor guy. Guy got caught with a bunch of heroin in the trunk of his car, on school grounds, and was over 18 as a senior. Never saw or heard about him after that, but I'm guessing it didn't go well for him. Most popular kid in my middle school was this big Samoan dude. Looked like he was 13 going on 25 years old. I remember he gained a lot of popularity when he serenaded this girl in class to ask her to the dance. He had music playing on his iPhone and he started belting out love songs while on bended knee. Later on that year he went from hero to zero when we found out he'd been molesting his sister. Pulled out a knife and slashed another student. Kid with the knife went to outcast status. Kid that got slashed became super cool and had a scar. Everyone wanted to see it. So your school had a knife incident and their response was to ban phones. The phones who had the evidence were to blame, but not the knife or the lack of security in school. There was a popular cheerleader at my school that was in a bad car wreck and she suffered severe brain damage. The day she came back, some of her friends, aka the popular kids, sat with her at lunch. Every day after that though, they sat on the other side of the cafeteria in their normal spot and she was with the other special needs students. They would walk past her without saying a word. As far as everyone knew, her entire group of friends completely abandoned her. I don't think she missed them though. So silver lining, she seemed to be very happy most of the time after the accident. Not so much before. This was in the mid-late 80s. And every teen movie with a bunch of shitty preppies pretty much accurately depicts the popular kids in my HS. Graduated. Turns out, some learn the hard way that adulthood is not the same as high school. She was hired to dogsit for a neighbor when they went out of town. She decided to take advantage of the empty house and throw a party at the neighbor's house that got out of hand. Neighbor's daughter also went to the school and had to deal with a messed up house. Pretty big deal, and the popular girl never came back. He got drunk and killed a family of 4 in a car accident. Wholesome for once, I guess. All popular kids in my school were complete dickheads that bullied others. This fella, king of the hill, starts dating a girl from another school that was friends with one of the bullied kids. The kid told the girl what her boyfriend does in that school, so the girl threatened to break up with him if he didn't change his ways. He stopped socializing with the cool folks and started getting bullied by them, and none of the other kids wanted to warm up to him. He was a loner at school, but he made his girlfriend happy and he was happy. Graduated high school. He turned into that 30-year-old dude that still hasn't gotten over high school. He got with me, for real. He was the most popular and I was the most unpopular. He was still always popular but less so after that. Now we've been together for 10.5 years and married for a little over 8. Well, everyone else grew up. He didn't, and doesn't seem to want to. Now it's everyone else's fault 10 years later. He got a bad haircut, was teased for it and threw a temper tantrum. He literally stormed out in the middle of class. He lost his spot as king bully after that. Crack. He and his couple friends started smoking crack senior year of high school. They got quarantined to themselves. Ran into one of them a couple weeks ago. He kept trying to get me back to their apartment to do meth. Well, at least he's off the crack. He was popular because he was a rebel that talked back to teachers, and insulted them openly. He became an outcast because he made the teacher everyone loved cry. Joined a gang. Moved up the ranks. Ordered the firebombing of a rival gang member's house. Dude wasn't home but his 4 little brothers and sisters were. None of them made it out of the house. He'll be in federal lockup until the day he dies. Known party girl at my school was texting while driving. She hit and killed someone crossing the street. Her father was a sergeant in the police department. She went to jail for 6 months and then had to do probation community service. Not quite sure what happened after the fact. She deleted everything tied to her. This was 2 days after high school graduation. Got an 8th grade girl pregnant while he was a junior in high school. He eventually transferred out because everyone hated him so much. For those not in America, that's at least a 4-year age gap. 17-year-old knocking up a 13-year-old. He got drunk and finger-banged a sheep at an outdoor party. He spent the next 3 years as the sheep. You build hundreds of bridges throughout your life, and nobody calls you a bridge builder, but you one goat. Sent his girlfriend's naked pics to the whole school. Wow, what a scumbag. The worst part of it was the excuse he gave. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to send it to everyone, just a couple guys from the basketball team. He ended up switching schools. There was a girl that was the popular girl in school. She had all the friends and even put out an album. She was a total star locally. One day we were taking standardized tests and she runs out of the room and doesn't return. When we left the class there was green diarrhea all over the floor just down the hall from the classroom. Poor girl didn't make it to the bathroom in time. She didn't return to school that school year and moved to another town school completely after that. She married a famous NFL player and is one of these Instagram people now, so she bounced back from a shitty situation pretty well. Tell me she dating a Green Bay Packer. Well, the popular girl at my school tried to ruin the life of a really sweet girl because of boyfriend drama. When she realized people were standing up for the sweet girl instead, she lost her mind, accusing the other girl and her boyfriend of property damage, turning on anyone who didn't swear loyalty to her, turning people against one another, screaming at teachers. It was a mess. The nail in the coffin was when she confided to me and 2 others that she was planning to put laxatives in the pastries she baked for the class. Obviously I let people know, and she became completely ostracized. She left at the end of junior year, and senior year was the most chill year ever. I don't blame you for letting people know. You can't let that shit slide. She tried to manipulate all her friends and pit them against each other with a bunch of catty lies. Well, that in combination with wearing her pageant sash and crown to school for like a week. All girls school. She was pretty and fairly popular, and near the end of the school year told everyone she had cancer. We were approaching the end of grade 7 at the time. Eventually literally everyone knew. Teachers, other parents, other grades, etc. And it kind of united everyone who weren't typically friends, and that was kind of cool. Until one day, maybe a week or 2 in, a pair of girlfriends go to visit her at her parents' house and they bring it up and discover it was a hoax. She pissed off a lot of people and lost all her friends after that. Gained new ones eventually. But what a goddamn weird thing to lie about. This kid in middle school used to talk shit to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight, until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight. He just was excellent at intimidation. Now, a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes, and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town but was really a gentle giant. He could play football. He was muscular. He could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly. A minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his ass kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere. His clothes got ripped. One of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away. And to top it all off, he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma, it would have had to have been on this day, because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. Guy got accused of rape at a party and nobody believed the girl, and people spread vicious rumors about her and sided with him. The whole thing seemed like everyone viewed him as a victim, and he played himself up that way, until, a few months later, another girl said she had been raped by him at a party, and multiple other people at the party saw her hysterically crying and bruised afterwards. There were not so many people supporting him after that. Accidentally left a video of himself sticking stuff up his ass on a phone that he sold to another student. I never saw him again after that.